everybody, so today I've got a YSL review for you. So this is the brand new YSL Face Palette, which I believe is called Golden Oasis, even though it doesn't say it on the back, but that's what I've seen it's called online. So I believe this is also their first face palette, please correct me if I'm wrong, but a first of its kind anyway. This one is made up of blushes and highlighters, some of which you may have already seen before, some of which I've already got in my collection, so I will be comparing them to make sure they do look exactly the same shade-wise and formula-wise. And I've got live swatches of these in my studio and outside, and I'm also going to try them on my face and on my eyes today, so I'll probably try two different looks both sides so we can see the sort of looks that I could achieve with this, to give you some ideas. And I cannot wait to get started. I've been so excited for this one to arrive. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty, and here on my channel I love to show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I would love it ever so much if you hit the subscribe button. I upload here several times a week and I would be super grateful if you did. Lots of people tune in without subscribing, but if you could, it is super helpful and I really do appreciate it. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you so very much for being here. And my skin tone, if you want to see how these shades might look on you, I've got fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that can lean a bit neutral. I've also got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into this review. So it is gone 5 PM here. This has literally just arrived through my door and I was in a dilemma. Shall I wait till tomorrow? Shall I do this now? Shall I edit tonight? Shall I get it out tonight? I don't know. Today is a Friday, so you might get this late on Friday night. You might get it Saturday morning. I will try and edit and get it out for you today. I have done my swatch video. I did that the first thing as soon as I got it, literally 5 minutes ago. And now I'm here filming with it. So I will upload now, or show you now, my swatch video. If you haven't already seen it, here it is. So some information on this one, it is £63, well that's what I've paid for it, I haven't seen it anywhere else, I've just found it on one French site which I have linked below for you if you wanted to get this yourself. I believe they ship to most of Europe and certainly they have here to the UK. I got it within a few days of ordering, so that was pretty good. And I've written down that there's 6 grams, but let's look on the back, it must be 6 grams per product. Well, that's not quite right going by the back because there's 27 grams it says on the back, the net weight, so not quite. And then we have the sort of standard packaging that we're getting lately from YSL, so it's this sort of faux leather, ever so slightly pink colour, sort of dusty pink is it? But it's very pretty. I know a lot of you love this and some of you don't because it can get dirty, you can stain it with certain makeups, you do need to be a bit careful, and obviously this sort of colour is going to be a bit more tricky. If you want to see it compared to the highlighter bronzer size wise, that's how, this is a highlighter but that's the same size as a bronzer, so here's a comparison. It's quite a lot bigger if we look at it compared to one of their blushes. Again, it is a whopper and it's pretty heavy. So the packaging is very luxe, very beautiful. Always we get this YSL logo here on the top, and then we're getting a really big mirror. I haven't taken the sticker off mine yet. And then you've already seen this swatched. So let's now look at the shades. And I think this almost goes up in strength. So it's like lightest, medium, darkest. So it's sort of covering all skin tones in one palette. So I don't know how you'll feel about that, because from my perspective, I think these ones work well for me actually. I feel like it's sort of warm and cool options for my skin tone. So maybe light to medium is this section, and then we've got medium to deep, or tan to deep rather, for these two because they are so rich. So I don't know if people getting this will feel they can use everything in it, but I'm going to do my best to find a way to use it. I certainly couldn't use these two deepest ones here on my cheeks. They'd be way too much, but I will try them a little bit on my eyes today. So the first two that we've got here, this one is Restless Rose, which was super popular in the blush form. And then we have Hypnotic Honey. Now I don't have Hypnotic Honey, unless by some chance that was the name of the highlighter that launched this year. But it's saying that Hypnotic Honey was number 2, and I do, which one do I have? I've got number 1 and I've got number 3. I didn't get number 2. Well, that's good in a way when it comes to the highlighters. So that might be the one I missed. When I say number 1 and number 3, these are the highlighters. I got the pink and I got the lightest one. So maybe Hypnotic Honey was the name of the second one in that collection. If you know and you got it, please do let me know. I'd imagine it probably would be. But I do have Restless Rose, so let's just make sure they are the same. I'm sure they are, but let's just double check. So here is the Restless Rose, and this is the colour on the front. So there's Restless Rose from the original blush, and now from this face palette, the formula feels a bit different. It feels a bit more dry in the face palette. It feels creamier in the blush. Is the pigment a bit less in the face palette compared with? Maybe there is a difference in formula here. Definitely seems more pigmented, the one from the blush. Definitely more creamy. Let me just swatch it again. Built up now, they're coming up the same. Very small difference, but slightly to the touch. This one does feel a bit creamier, so I don't know if that's just me. Or anyway, let's continue. Let's see if it happens with another one. So I can't compare the highlighter because I don't have that shade, and the hallucinating pink I don't have because it says that that is number 77 according to the box. So I will compare it to the 03, which was pink. I'll compare it to that one because you might have just picked that one up. That's actually my favourite out of the two I picked up. I didn't like 01, but I really like 03, but they are quite glittery. So on row 2, we have the Nude Lavalier number 44, which is super, super popular. And I do actually really like that one. And I also have it in the blush. So I'm going to compare those two now. So let me show you them next to each other as well, so you can see if you think there's any difference. Here's Nude Lavalier. This central one here. So let's now do the swatch, and again feeling super creamy and soft, the one in the single pot, and this is just one swatch of that there. I'll swatch it a second time so it's quite rich, and now I'll swatch it from the palette. It's definitely feeling drier. There is definitely a difference in formula, so I don't think they're exactly the same. I don't have any information on this. This is just literally my opinion, my first impression, but it definitely seems almost a bit more glowy and powdery, I'd say, the one in the palette. So that's one swatch. Let me do a second so it's totally fair, because I did do 2 for the other one. Definitely seems more pigmented, doesn't it? It's not swatching as nicely. So that's a little bit frustrating, because I know how much everybody loves the ones in the single pots that launched. And if you missed out on some of those shades, or if you've got a favourite and you want them in a face palette, you want them to have the same formula. I would imagine you would anyway. These do feel a bit different. Anyway, let's compare the highlighters. So we have the Hallucinating Pink number 77, which I will compare to the number 3. Again, the highlighter in the single pot feels more silky than the one in the face palette. So this one is the single pot and this one is the face palette. I say pot, it's not a pot. But anyway, here is the single and here's the one from the face palette. But it is a number 77, so it's a different number. It is a different one. And looking at this one, when I swatched it underneath the sunlight, you really picked up on pink sparkle in this. I don't know if you can see that a bit better if I get close up. So they're definitely different, but it's definitely not that sort of creamy, soft, silky formula I'm getting with the single highlighter. So I can't compare the last two because I don't have them. They're deep shades that I wouldn't normally get for myself. So we have Berry Bang and we have Bronze Dunes. Bizarrely, Berry Bang feels creamier than the other two. Isn't that odd? Very odd. The bottom row is very pigmented and also quite creamy, but the four above it aren't. I'm going to be so curious to hear from everyone that gets this if you find the same. So I don't think the top four are as good as the ones we've already got from swatches. But anyway, let's try them on because I might just not really notice any difference once they're applied. So I was hoping I could think of this maybe as some sort of bronzer, even though it's really a blush highlighter palette, but there's no way I can use that as a bronzer. You've just seen now, one, it's way too rich for my skin tone, and two, it's way too sparkly to be used as a bronzer because it is a highlighter. So that's fine, let's use it as I should. So these two I will use on the eyes because they're no good for me on the face, and if you have a deeper skin tone they could be fabulous for you. In fact, this one in particular would be really good on really deep skin tones. So I think this is quite an inclusive palette, but then would you prefer there was 3 palettes so you could choose different shades, because someone who's fair skin like me might not want these. But anyway, let's just try it. I'm going to see if I can get my favourite Rapha brush in here, or is it going to be, I think I can actually, they're quite big sizes. So on this side of the face, I think I'll use these two, and then on this side, I'll use these two. So I'll dig out my other Rapha brush, which was actually from the holiday the year before. So this one's quite a similar shape. So using very similar brushes. I'll go with my favourite to start. So that is with this one here, Restless Rose, which is like a peachy pink. Let's see if this one is as nice. Straight away you see the pigment is just not as much, which is not a terrible thing for fair skin. But compared to the single ones, I don't know why it's different, but it's gone on beautifully. I'm not complaining about having to build it up. I find that easier. Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous. And that was how I felt about Restless Rose in the single when I first got it. So that's gone on so evenly and so beautifully. Oh, I love that. I don't need to show you that these can be built up. I really want to finish with a look that is a good look rather than an overdone look. So I'm going to go with a look that I think is wearable. So I'm hardly going to take any more on the brush now, just a tiny bit. So this is my third tap in, and then I'm going to leave it there. But every time I've touched the brush, and I am just touching it, it's built up, because these do build. We already know that from these single ones. And you really don't need to add a highlighter because it's already got such a fabulous glow. So you could just leave it at that. It's a beautiful colour, Restless Rose, it really is. I love it for a sort of summer shade. In fact, I've been reviewing so many products, I haven't gone back to using it, and it's reminded me, why have I not used it recently, because it's gorgeous. So let's try the highlighter from that first row. So Hypnotic Honey, so this one here. Or is this going to be a bit too bronzy? It didn't look particularly bronzy in the swatches though. Oh, that is beautiful. I'll zoom you in actually so you can see it a bit closer. Yeah. My issue with the YSL highlighters was the amount of glitter that I saw on my face. I'm not seeing too much here. Number 1 was the one that was particularly bad for glitter. I am seeing a tiny bit, but I'm not seeing enough for me to feel I don't like it like I did with 01. In fact, I love that combination. Oh, that is stunning. What a fabulous start. What do you think of that? Gorgeous. Right, let's take my other Rapha brush now and go in with this side. So this is the Nude Lavalier, which is definitely more pigmented than Restless Rose. I'm just going to tap it on initially. It's going onto powder here, by the way. It's not going onto cream. I've already set my face. I did my makeup hours ago. Anyway, so that first tap, didn't over apply. I definitely see a difference here because the round pots, when I use those, I get more pigment from that one tap. In fact, I get a little bit too much with Nude Lavalier, so it's not a bad thing that these are a bit more slow to build. It really isn't. The finish, I think the finish is as good. I just think there's something slightly different. But it's certainly, oh, it's gorgeous. I'm not thinking, I almost prefer them. I wasn't expecting that. You saw my reaction from the swatches. It didn't feel as nice to swatch. It's gone on beautifully and it's just a bit more easy to manage. I actually think I prefer them. Oh wow. And then another thing you could do, I suppose, is you could mix them all up together. Anyway, let me just try next. That is so pretty, look at that. I do love Nude Lavalier. It's a very good shade for my skin tone, I think. Summer shade, all year round shade for me. So now let's try this sparkly pink, and it really is sparkly, this one. Hallucinating pink. I do love a sparkly pink highlighter. What I don't like is chunks of glitter, and it's not chunky. Well, that's really nice. Oh, these are gorgeous. I'm liking this more and more. Look at that. I hope you can pick up on that, I really do. It's so difficult to get highlighters across, even swatching it in the sunlight. I struggled a lot to get the camera to really pick up on the pink sparkle, which you would see if you saw me face to face. It's really difficult. And I'm filming outdoors in 4K and I'm filming indoors with beaming lights and 4K again. And I'm sure it's difficult to see, but hopefully you can see it enough. I'll zoom you right in to see it. That is not chunky glitter at all. Very fine, tiny pigments. You do see the glitter, but not in a way that I think isn't complementary to mature skin, which was my issue with shade 1 from the highlighters on the solo highlighters. That is lovely. I'm wondering now, because they were quite buildable, could I take a plunge here and take the tiniest little dab of Berry Bang and put that in the upper section of my cheek? Can I risk it? I'm going to take one tap and just see what happens. Oh, I think I can. Now, I wouldn't want to bring this down lower in the cheek. I can just about use Berry Bang if I want to go for a more intense finish. And it really works nicely with Nude Lavalier. I wouldn't use it with this one because that's more of a peachy tone and I don't think I'd want to mix them. Oh, that worked quite nicely, didn't it? I like that. Oh wow, I did not expect to be able to get on with this. So I can use Berry Bang on my cheeks with, oh wow. Happy days, I'm really happy with that. Right, I'm going to start an eye look now. So as soon as I put Berry Bang on this side, maybe I should mix these two. Yeah, I'll start with Nude Lavalier, I think. And I'm going to take this on a fluffy brush into the crease. And with my Pencil Pro from Sonia G, I'm going to run Nude Lavalier underneath. It's actually a really pretty shade on the eye, Nude Lavalier, isn't it? And I'll take a little bit now of Berry Bang, not too much, and just sort of go under here a little bit. You need to be very careful with shades like this because this is when you can start to look unwell. But I'll definitely go in with some sort of liner, I think. And to put some here on the lash line and then sort of take it out. And I'm going to bring it up here to intensify the look and then go back in the top section with my fluffy brush. Very cautious with a shade this rich on fair skin. They do work together nicely, don't they? They work nicely together on the cheeks and they work nicely together on the eyes. And just blend out where I put it across the lid there. I think I'm actually going to take Nude Lavalier across the whole of the lid and use this one as a topper. That's what I've decided. We're going for a completely pink eye here. And then take a tiny bit of this on the fluffy brush, pat a little bit more in to intensify there. That really does give you a pop, doesn't it? Oh, I like that. So now let's take the highlighter, Hallucinating Pink, Now this could spill down my cheeks doing this without any sort of glitter glue, so I'm going to just hope for the best for now. If it does, then I know for next time. Oh, isn't that pretty? That is really pretty, and this is really enabling you hopefully to see the pink sparkle that you get with this gorgeous highlighter, because it really pops on the eyes. It's a great topper actually. Tom Ford Black Diamond as always, to just put a pop of light here in the inner corner. I don't want any more sparkle there. And I'm going to use it to highlight under the brow. There's no way I want that pink sparkle under my brow. I think I'll probably go in with a liner. I'm not sure. I'm going to have a think about it. So now let's do the other side. For this one I'm going for a more warm look to sort of go with my cheek. So I'm going to start with Restless Rose, and I'm going to use this one in the outer V and the crease. I'm not going to take this all over the lid though, because I'm thinking of using this one over the mobile lid, which has got a lot more pigment than either of the other two highlighters, and might work as a colour on its own without it being just a topper. I think it will, because it's very pigmented. So Restless Rose, absolutely stunning on the eyes. Also incredibly easy to blend out on the eyes as well, these, really easy. They might be intended for cheeks primarily, but they work so well on the eyes, they really do. Such a quick, easy and cohesive look, which I love. So I'll take some of this, which is called Bronze Dunes, and I've just taken it on the wrong finger, and I'll put it here. Yeah, those two work together nicely. Oh, I like those two together. It is quite like a topper though. You can't, it's definitely not giving me a sort of full coverage. So you might want to put the Restless Rose all over the eye, but obviously it'll change the look of the gold. It'll make it look maybe a little bit deeper. That's really pretty, isn't it? I think you can see why this would not work as a highlighter for me, but it's really pretty on the eyes. So this is the only one out of the 6 that I can't use on my cheeks because I'm too fair. I certainly would choose not to anyway. So now I'm going to take the first highlighter, Hypnotic Honey, on that first sort of third, and bring that to meet the bronze. And I think I'll also take this one on the brush, and I will take this one in the inner corner. Probably could have worked for this side as well actually, but anyway. It's slightly warm and I was going for a cooler look there. But I think I can use this one under the brow as well. So if you're looking for more of a shimmer pop under the brow, that will definitely do the job. So there we have both looks, super simple. I love them both, I really do. And on this side we just have those warm shades on cheeks and eyes. So imagine if you had the whole face like that. That's a really nice summer look, isn't it, on my skin tone anyway. And then this one, a more sort of all year round look. Like, it's just super pretty. This would be perfect for travelling with, because you can achieve these two different looks and swap them round and just take a liner and a mascara and you've got your whole face. I am going to line. I've been using the Makeup by Mario taupe liner non-stop, literally pretty much daily since getting it. So I'm going to use that on both looks, which gives me quite a nice line without being too much. So I'll try and not over apply it. I just feel like I need a little bit on both. And use the brush on the bottom of this now to just soften it out and mix it in. So it's a really soft line. And I'll just curl my lashes and go in with some mascara. I'll be using the new Hourglass Unlocked in Espresso, which I've used an awful lot since getting it and getting on so well with it. It never smudges on me. And again, it's a brown shade, which I do prefer. So I've gone in with mascara and this is my final look. And I have to say, as you've probably noticed, I am over the moon with this. I just think it is absolutely beautiful. All of it. I love it on the eyes, but I loved it on the cheeks. They work so well together. And I love the way I was able to pair up a shade I thought was impossible for me. Not only do I like it on my eye there, which I didn't expect, but I liked it on top of the nude Lavalier, just on that top section. They work beautifully with the corresponding highlighters, or these two. And then the summery sort of look. And then this one. Oh, I just love it. Which is your favourite side? Do you have a favourite? I think mine would... I was going to say it's this, but I don't know. I just think I like both. This is beautiful. So I started off with swatches thinking this is okay, but it's going to be a big disappointment. And I've gone on to think it's gorgeous. So do I recommend you getting this when it's available to you, or if it's available to you now? If you're a fan of YSL and these shades, why not? Because this is gorgeous, and it's not a bad price really when you think what we pay for products similar to this or with less products in, and what you can do with it. So all of my cheeks, several different looks, all of my cheeks, I've only got two. My cheeks and my eyes, several looks. So there were at least two for me. I don't know if there'd be a third look for me. I'd have to play around. There could be a third look, maybe mix in less colours, but I just like these two looks so much. I think it's just the two looks for me, the two types of cheeks. But obviously you could go with no highlighter some days, so you just want to play around with two blush tones together. So a few different options. How would you use this? What would your favourite looks be, do you think? And will you be getting it? I would love to hear from you. I'm really thrilled with it. I really am. I think it's amazing. Really, really, really thrilled. In fact, I'm more excited about this than I was the actual individual blushes, which I know were fabulous, but I actually had more fun with this and I love it. So well done, YSL. Probably my favourite launch from YSL this year for me, apart from possibly their recent eye quad, which I thought was amazing too. Maybe a tie. They've come out with some really good stuff this year, they really have. So anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of this? I would be delighted to hear what you've got to say. And if you've enjoyed this video, I would love it ever so much if you hit the like button and the subscribe button if not subscribed. But if you're already subscribed, you're at the end of another review, and I'm super grateful to you for being here. I truly am. And I really do hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.